I can't believe the Wizards choked away the game against the Toronto Raptors. Can somebody make sure that Otto Porter makes it to the game tonight? He was a no-show in Toronto. What's up, trash talkers? Just want to get in a little pre-game talk for the big game tonight between the Washington Wizards and the Toronto Raptors. As you guys know, the Wizards blew a big opportunity, and I'm talking from the perspective of a Wizards fan. They blew Game 5. I thought they had control of the game down the stretch, about 4 or 5 minutes into the fourth quarter, and then the table just fell from under them, and whatever they were doing at that time, they stopped doing. Um, I think John Wall hit a wall. John Wall hit a wall, and stopped doing the things that he was doing throughout the game, which was, dishing pretty well like he always does, and pulling up for the 10 to 15 footers. He was really in a nice rhythm, and for some reason he abandoned that. He started diverting to Bradley Beal, who was having an awful game. Uh, I'm not sure I've seen a more poorly played playoff game from Brad, but hopefully he'll come back in Game 6 and bounce back. Otto Porter, I don't even believe that Otto Porter even showed up in the building. He was definitely MIA in that game. I don't know what the deal was, but Toronto seems to be defending him extremely well. So let me talk about the keys to tonight's game. As you know, it's back. The Wizards are back home in D.C., where they play much better, at least in this series. I do believe they're going to win this game. John and Brad, I believe, are going to play well together. Brad is going to have a breakout game, I believe. I think John is going to have a solid game. Actually, John has had a pretty solid series. Save for some of the turnovers he had in Game 5, I think he's been pretty solid. Uh, Otto needs to show up. For the Wizards to have a chance in this game, you need some contribution either from Otto, and if he's not performing, I think the coach should go to the bench early and put in Mike Scott, who's actually performed well, not only during this playoff, but he's performed well all year coming off the bench. I thought Gortat played pretty well in Game 5. Um, you definitely, any contribution from a Gortat in any of these games is a plus, is a blessing, because he has not done too much in the rest of the games or in the earlier games. Game 5, he kind of broke out a little bit, was very active, scored, played pretty solid defense, and did some rebounding. So those are the kind of things that we need from Gortat. He doesn't always bring it. Morris had an up and down game in Game 5. Look for a more solid performance. He definitely plays better at home. And then the Wizards bench, which has actually played pretty well this series, if they can keep doing those things that they do when Kelly Oubre comes out there, obviously he's a good defender. He's really attacking the rim, and he's making a few of his threes. Mike Scott, as I mentioned before, has been pretty solid. Ty Lawson has been a great surprise. You know, they just picked him up from China, actually, a couple of games ago. And he's come in and played well. I don't know why he didn't have more minutes down the stretch, but hopefully the coach can find him more minutes. Um, so those are the keys to the game for the Wizards. For the Raptors, just give it to DeMar DeRozan. He has been the best player in the series, and the main reason why Toronto is up 3-2 right now. Um, Kyle Lowry has been very solid. There hasn't been that much of a gap between John Wall and Kyle Lowry in this series. Obviously, at Trash Talkers, we believe John's a better player. But if Kyle Lowry continues to put up solid performances, playing tough defense, if not dirty defense, on Bradley Beal with the grabbing and the pushing and things of that nature, if he continues to hit the threes, get about 9, 10 assists for Toronto, he's going to make life very difficult for the Wizards. So, and then you have Ibaka, who's who guards the rim pretty well. Valanciunas is a solid big man who's outplaying Gortat at this point. And then they have a lot of the role players for Toronto who just are beasts on defense. And they have been giving the Wizards great problems getting into their offense. So those are the keys that I see for the Toronto Raptors. Good, solid defense. Let DeMar Rosen lead the way. Solid performance from Kyle Lowry. So that's my opinion. I do think that the Wizards will pull off Game 6. I don't believe they're going to be able to go back to Toronto and take Game 7. Uh, Although they do have a chance. Again, if the Wizards' backcourt outplays Toronto's backcourt, they can beat them anywhere on this planet Earth. But I just don't expect that to happen. But that's my opinion. So comment below if you agree, disagree, or if you have some other insights on the game. And I hope you enjoy the game tonight, which is only a couple hours away. Trash Talkers Vlog, baby.